or we're gonna do this video. But I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not good with scary stuff, so don't expect me to not cower behind this microphone or something, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not. Oh wow, I'm pitch black right now. Okay. That'll be fine. Watching images, do not get them. All right. Damn. Okay. Murder incident. Okay.
It's the winter of
And see, now I'm already scared. I'm already scared. All right. So we might be cooked.
Region of the Philippines receives a package at their door, which contained a single VHS tape and a note stating.
See? Now see right there. Now see right there. If you see a box with just a VHS tape on it, don't open that box. Send it right back. Like, I swear, like, how do people like just see a box with a VHS tape on it and just open it and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? This is gonna be such a great idea to just put in a TV." Like,
that the contents were for the children of the house, and so the
for the house.
And sat in front of the television.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
The tape began to play, introducing them to a brand new show called.
Okay, bro, come on. I'm getting a little scared now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, my hair is cooked.
This was the experience
oh, wow,
for hundreds
of
kids across the world, made to watch a seemingly harmless puppet show about a grandpa and his family.
Now, see, that's where you got me off right now. See, I know I keep pausing, but I am definitely scared of, like, you know, puppets and, like, dolls. I forget what it's called, but, like, I'm terrified of these kind of things. So if I was a kid and I saw this, I'm not going to sleep for the next like 3 days. I'm staying up. All right, I'm staying up.
Gladly watching this episode and the many others that would be sent later on, over and over again, blissfully unaware that what they were being shown would someday come to be known as one of the most disturbing rabbit holes in the history of children's media.
What?
This is the story of Life with Grandpa, the darkest kids show ever made.
Nothing can harm you when Jesus is near. Dad, I don't want you to leave.
Can I persuade you to subscribe?
Before we dive into
okay,
I want to first thank today's video sponsor, Saley. Throughout my life,
okay, let's see this.
Dedicated to sharing. She loved to play on the steep hillside.
Wait, hold on, let's get back. Okay. No, thank you.
This is Life with Grandpa,
no, thank you.
A
what the
straight-to-VHS
fuck?
show made for children created sometime in the mid-80s. The program followed a family of humanoid puppets on their journey to teach the audience lessons loosely based on Christianity through the use of stories, skits, and songs, acting as a guide for children to live their best possible lives for Jesus.
See, terrifying right there.
Continuing with some more lessons about prayer. Are you all ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, so like that vegetable show, like what's it called again? Damn, I forgot the name of it. It's like it had Tom. I'm pretty sure it was like there was a cucumber, I think, and a tomato, and you know they go around and doing stuff like that. I think it's like that. It kind of reminds me of it.
Thank you, Lord. Such sweethearts.
The show was set up in an episodic fashion, never following any main overarching storyline, and instead, each installment would be composed of a series of shorter segments, recounting past experiences from this family, with an occasional musical number thrown in.
See that? Okay, now I get a little favorite. Okay, so for it's not that bad.
Was Grandpa, who acted as the show's host, often being the one to teach the episode's central messages not only to his on-screen family, but to all the kids watching at home.
But it's my kite.
But wouldn't you like to pray that some poor little boy who doesn't have so many toys and blessings as you do will find your kite?
Yes,
okay,
Grandpa.
As he was made to be a wise...
Bro, that's so scary! Bro, that's scary! How are you gonna tell me there's like a little doll kid that's like... Bro, okay, that like, how do you watch that and not be scared? Like, honestly, like, how would you be a kid and watch that and not be like shitting bricks? Like, that ass, like how? Bro, oh my god. Bro, I don't even know.
Words were never
bro.
Questioned.
That's crazy.
Often seen by his side was his wife, Mother Maria. Though
that's
as
terrifying.
As shown,
no,
she rarely has
see, that's terrifying.
Yes, thank the Lord for such a good, sweet boy.
Bro, that age gap is crazy. I had to say it. that age cap is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of crazy. Bro looks like 20 compared to like 60,000.
She's reiterating Grandpa's messages to the children. And of the children, there was Davida, Techi, and Davidito, with the latter being one of the show's central figures.
See, I'll put all of them up for adoption.
Potentially even ahead of Grandpa in terms of screen time, as Davidito often got his own segments and told his own stories directly to the audience.
Hello,
look at me.
children.
Don't look at me.
Would you like to hear some exciting prayer adventures?
Fuck no. Oh, fuck no. I don't want to hear anything like that. No, bro. I don't want to hear that. Oh my god, bro. Just stop looking at me.
When I was very small.
And though it's never outright stated, it's clear that Davidito was put on a pedestal, with the child often getting special treatment and being showered in gifts, as the family clearly seemed to favor him.
Damn.
Uncle Al?
It's
He's
called
the favorite.
a kite.
We want to give you a little surprise because you were such a good witness.
This brand new tape recorder is for you.
Thank you, Jesus.
With there never being an explanation as to why.
No.
This is the core group of
No.
Live with Grandpa.
No, I'm not.
The only other reoccurring characters being Aunt Sarah and Uncle Elf, a couple that was
Bro,
often
I'm
shown
scared
around
of
the house
dolls,
helping look out for
man.
the kids. And despite this looking like something pulled straight from the depths of the Uncanny Valley, the
Yeah,
content
no,
within the
really?
show didn't really seem all that troublesome. In fact, it
Really?
appeared fairly normal, and not too
I mean,
unlike
I
the many other
guess.
low-budget religious shows of the time, highlighting themes like obedience,
Nothing short of right is right.
Yes, so the right thing is...
To obey.
sharing,
Good morning.
You know, you
Doctor.
got. Yo, sometimes, you know, like if there's a ghost behind you, you kind of have to catch them hacking. You know, I wasn't sure, so you know, like, you know, just gotta double check. It's just Luffy back there.
I have
That's
a
all.
surprise for you. Oh, can I see it? I would like to share my cars with you. Which ones do you like?
and loving everyone.
That's
Bro.
really sweet of you, David. Thank you for that nice, generous present.
What present?
That nice kiss. A kiss makes a real beautiful gift for a present.
What do you mean by
Though mixed within these fairly
What do you mean by
standard
that?
teachings, you'll find other
What?
moments that are far more unusual.
What do you mean by that?
Don't run down that gravel hill.
so, so, so you did that one thing you told. Okay, alright.
Oh, Davida.
She's bleeding, and her cut is all covered with dirt.
And I don't even have a tissue to wipe it with. I'll just have to lick it clean.
What? Lick it clean? Oh hell no! What do you mean lick it clean? That's wild.
Spit out the dirt.
Spit out. Oh my god, this is a kink. This has to be a kink. This is a kink. That's wild. Like you're wilding right now. What do you mean?
The show featured a lot of strange underlying
wild.
themes that seemed to have nothing to do with religion, or at least not the conventional beliefs of Christianity, with one of the more obvious being its unprompted disdain for doctors.
We'll have to really pray that there won't be a scar.
Soon afterwards, there was no sign at all of the deep gash on Davida's forehead.
Oh, that's
Surely
bad.
a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles.
Oh no, that's actually bad. Bro, that's horrible. Why are they teaching that? They're teaching. Oh my god, they're teaching you not to go to a doctor. Oh my god, they're teaching you not to go to a doctor. That's wild.
Praise the
Oh
Lord.
my god,
As well
that's
as its
actually
constant
wild.
endorsement of spanking.
Jesus spanks us because he loves us and wants us to obey and be good.
what are they doing? Oh, they're doing the song. Okay.
We're really sorry. So if the Lord should spank you a little bit,
Oh my god, they're teaching you to get spanked? Bro, I thought bro was playing a song. You know how like they have like the things that go. Bro, that's fucking wild. That's actually crazy. Wow, bro literally just said smack your fucking kids. That's wild.
or
Nah.
correct you, it's for your
Bro, this can't be good for like the mental. Like they're gonna grow up and then start doing this. Like
own good. It's because
Like, if
he
I saw
loves
this as a
you
kid,
and
it'll be
wants
good.
you to be good
So I wouldn't see it.
And while these are certainly strange, by far the most glaring indication that Life with Grandpa wasn't just your typical kids show came from the program's stance on women, with the first major example coming from a song made for the young girls watching on.
So do the dishes and clean the floor, and God can show us something more. I'm ready for any job at all, whether it's great or whether it's small. I'm ready to go, ready to stay.
That's
ready
wild.
to fill, ready for service, lowly or great, ready to do God's will.
The message behind this song is clear. If
That's
you're a woman,
crazy.
then it's your job to cook, clean, and have babies. And that's about it, as this is God's will and your sole purpose for existing.
I mean,
And
that's kind of what they did back then, though. It's wrong, but like that's kind of what they did back then. Like deadass, they used to like just air this shit like nothing's wrong. Like that's wild.
Was certainly not as controversial at the time. The show
Yeah.
took it even further, as it hammered home this idea to all the children watching on by repeating one line at the end over and over again.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey, for there's no other way.
Trust and obey.
Obey, for there's no other way.
For
Make
trust and obey,
it clear that this was
or there's no other way, bro. That's crazy, bro. No, this TV show was deadass. Like, how do people watch it? There's no way like the parents seeing this didn't think that like, oh yeah, what the fuck is this message? Like, I don't want my kids seeing this. Like, we had like what? SpongeBob? Like bro, that's
a
crazy.
lesson that the showrunners didn't want these kids to
Like,
question.
SpongeBob never teaches this.
But as
which is
comically
good.
offensive as this song
This is wild.
it was far from the worst that the show had to offer.
It's not even the worst. Oh, hi, scientists.
In another episode, we're shown a musical number about Grandpa, who's portrayed as a scientist that's always busy working, though the song is really less about him and more about his love interest.
Yo, but hear me out though. Hey, no, but hear me out though. Hear me out. I'm putting her on the cake. She's going on the cake. Hear me out. Look at. Okay, alright, I'll stop. That's crazy. Okay.
Robots with long hair and nude female breasts.
Oh yeah, that's fucking out. Bro, they just have the breast. Okay,
It's
that's
one of
crazy.
the most surreal things
Wow,
that I've
that's
ever
actually
seen on a
crazy.
kid show, as this thing was
Hairline
clearly
is
meant
as
to
bad
be a
as mine.
portrayal of Grandpa's wife and women in general, likening them to robots. Though unlike the previous demeaning song, this number is blatantly perverted, as it not only shows the robot having breasts, but it also
Yeah.
shows Grandpa fondling them as well. And these perversions weren't even exclusive
Yeah,
to
that's
its imagery.
crazy. Bro, what?
It's shocking for so many reasons, but mainly due to the fact
Wow.
that this was on a show that was literally made for toddlers and young children,
Oh,
who were now
shit.
being shown this clearly explicit content. And most disturbing of all is the realization that this sexualized material was actually nothing new to the world of Life with Grandpa.
Wait, what do you mean nothing?
Predating the puppets, there was a little-known illustrated book series called Life of Grandpa.
Okay, now
The
see,
show
now I'm
purported to be a
scared.
shot-for-shot remake of this book series.
Okay, you're
featuring
scaring
the
me
same
now, bro.
exact characters and stories. And much like the show,
I
the
don't like
series was
dogs,
also
bro.
a religious
Mm.
guide created for children. In its pages, you'll find themes about morality and lessons made to guide you towards a proper way of living through this religion.
Good
But these books
Lord,
also
I
had
love
a very
children.
apparent dark side,
What?
one far worse than the show it inspired. In the chapter Real Fathers, we're shown a scene where Techi and
Oh my god, that's fucking goosebumps. Nah, that I just got goosebumps. What the fuck is this?
Davidito question why they have two different skin colors, despite them being siblings.
What the
as
fuck?
Techi noticed that Davidito's skin appeared light brown, while
Okay.
hers was almost pure white. To which Grandpa then explains to them how his wife and their mother had slept with other men. See, God used Timothy and Carlos only to...
Yo, bro, how is this allowed? I keep saying this, but like, for real, how is this allowed? Like, bro, it even used the word fuck. Oh my god.
Mama, so that I could have you both. They were just like an instrument or tool that Jesus used to help create you wonderful little children.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So first they're promoting women to just be in the kitchen and just clean. Second, they're gonna be promoting cheating. Third, they look scary as fuck. Fourth, they're scary as fuck again, bro. What the fuck?
His kingdom. Praise the Lord.
Oh, bro,
this was followed by an in-depth explanation of what that scene looked like, including images depicting the act.
Okay, now.
Examples like this are prevalent all throughout the pages of Life with Grandpa.
Oh. Bro, that shit wasn't even blurred on the other side too, bro. Oh my god, this can't be a kids show.
With erotic material being shown constantly, with
what I was gonna say, I was in shock.
How inappropriate this is to be showing kids, which begs the obvious question: why? Why was Life with Grandpa so blatant?
Bro, this has to be a kink. No, like this has to be like a weirdo that had like a kink like this to show it. Like, there's no way it can't be
perverted. Well, the answer lies with the author of the books and the reason for the show's existence.
Oh, my headphones are like fucking.
David Berg.
Yeah, that man has a kink.
Send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect.
That's scary.
That's when Jesus is going to come back to rapture his saints, to gather them together.
Born in 1919, David grew up a devout believer in Christianity, but wanted something more from the religion. He dreamed of one day starting his own group with his own teachings, and in 1968, at the ripe age of 50, he decided it was time to do just that. The group began in Huntington Beach, California, and went by many names over the years, like Teens for Christ, the Children of God, the Family of Love, the Family International, or just the Family. But regardless of its name, there was no denying what this group was. A cult. A cult led.
Yeah, I could tell.
Berg would find young hippies and those struggling with drug addiction and mental health issues, and convince them to join his group by stating that the end of the world was coming soon, and that they needed to follow in his path and join his family to save their souls. It was pretty standard cult ideology, but at the time it was extremely effective, with the sect amassing a staggering 10,000 members at its peak. And at first, David got by with fairly standard teachings from the Bible, although this wouldn't last. After some time, Berg began addressing his followers via frequent illustrated messages called Mo letters that featured his ramblings and teachings from the time, with Berg slowly ingraining into his members that the contents of these letters should be taken as seriously, if not more so, than the Bible. In one of these letters sent out in 1972, Berg claimed that God was going to destroy the United States and that the group needed to flee the country immediately, with Berg demanding that his followers spread out all.
Bro, it's so crazy how like quotes like these big quotes and stuff like uses people for money and stuff. Like what do you think is like behind the people who make this like quotes and stuff?
Open up communal homes where
like
members could live as
they
well,
have to like either crave power, like they want power, or it's like they truly do believe that they're like the next Jesus Christ. Because like why else would they do this? Like it's crazy, man.
Packed up their things and left.
You think it's like ego?
Leading to roughly 130 communities being established across 70 different countries, essentially overnight. This mass migration had an extremely significant impact on the family, as it left practically the entire group outside of the United States, and more importantly, outside of the United States jurisdiction, meaning that Berg could now get away with far more than he used to.
Oh my god, you're
and
right.
Unsurprisingly, this is where he began to tighten his control. The full-time members were made to give up all of their earthly possessions to the group and cease all contact with their family and friends who were non-believers, cutting them off from the outside world completely. And these restrictions also applied to the media they consumed.
That's wild.
In his teachings, Berg denounced all forms of entertainment made outside of the cult, since he believed that this would poison the minds of his members and potentially sway them into leaving the group. And so, instead, he insisted that his followers only consume media that was produced directly by the family, with these works often being created by Berg himself or the other followers he enlisted, and then shipped directly to the members' homes.
That's why they opened it. Okay, that makes way more sense, because if I was a parent, I would call the police like instantly. But if they're in a cult, then they don't really know. They're
If not thousands
brainwashed.
of videos, movies, and TV shows being produced and shared among the family. But for Berg, this wasn't just about providing entertainment. It was really all about controlling the minds of his group, and even more importantly, indoctrination.
Bro, look at his image, bro. What
with
the
his
fuck?
primary targets being children.
Yeah.
From birth,
I guess
most
it makes
kids
sense.
were not shown any media other than what the cult gave their parents, with these works quite literally shaping their minds into following everything that the cult believed in without question. The main themes of these were usually things like always be happy,
Oh. That's not even true, by the way.
always show love, and never, under any circumstances, question your parents.
That's the craziest thing. Right there. Right there. You see this little bitch in the fucking corner? This little shit is the reason why I have fucking nightmares when I was a kid. Non-stop. This man, this little shit, this little stupid ass ginger ass bitch fucking scared the living crap out of me as a child. Like, I promise you, this thing is the reason why I'm scared of dolls. Annabelle. Like, honestly. Do it as daddy said so. Do it as daddy said so. Do it as daddy said so. Kind of a banger though, Jazz. Kind of a banger.
Life with Grandpa was no exception.
I might
As it too
become
was
one of the
created
members.
by the family in order to instill their beliefs into its child viewers, with the line trust and obey being hammered home time and time again, as those creating the programs didn't want their kids questioning any of the practices, and so they were teaching
because
them
the
to
questions
simply
equal
smile
them
along
leaving.
and trust the adults. But because the group was the one producing and distributing the content, they basically
What are you
had
looking
no
at, huh?
regulations placed on them, meaning that they could include whatever they want in these shows without any repercussions, leading to many of the showrunners exploring some of the group's more controversial beliefs, which becomes extremely troublesome when you realize that the family wasn't just your standard cult, and instead, it was
Don't.
a sex cult.
When you think of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, what are you
Oh my god. What the fuck?
thinking about? You think about a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman. And what is the first thing that a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman would, of course, naturally do as soon as they saw each other and nobody else around? I think just one look was all it took. And
David Berg was a deeply perverted man. The idea
Oh really? Oh really? I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed. Oh, would have guessed. Me? No. Nah, never. Never ever guessed. That's wild. Bro, it's a fucking sex cult. Oh my god, bro. That's fucking crazy, bro. No wonder they had to leave the US, bro. They would have gotten
sex
caught and get the
consumed
fuck.
him and seeped its way into essentially all of his
Yeah,
teachings.
yeah, I could tell.
think Adam and Eve are over there behind those bushes right now, busy making not pina colada. I think they're making some other kind of juices.
And once his followers were outside of the US, he began to preach something he called the Law of Love, which essentially said that the family should be showing all people love, and that love should come in the form of sex.
I practice what I preach, and I preach
Oh yeah, I know you practice what you preach.
boys.
Yeah, you wanna fuck everybody,
And so
don't
he
you?
told his followers to open up their relationships to outsiders, calling the practice sharing, as you were made to share your partner in the hopes of enticing new people to join the group. But he wasn't satisfied with just this, and
That's
instead
fucking
he began
crazy.
to mandate that the women of the group participate in something he called flirty fishing. Also known as FF, flirty fishing describes the practice of women going into bars at night in order to pick up lonely men, who they would
What?
then entertain for the night. The goal of this was to convince these men to join the family, though more realistically, the goal was also to make money, as they were made to charge for their services, with the women being told to seek lonely businessmen. And this
That's
is something that
crazy.
Berg not only pushed heavily,
Holy
but outright
shit.
mandated, insisting that every woman in the group do
At what
this or
age?
face
Every?
punishment from the family, even those who were married. And Berg was so serious about this that he sent every colony report forms so that they could report how much flirty fishing was being done, in order to check their statistics and make sure that they were up to par. Understandably, many women of the group were concerned by this and wanted nothing to do with it.
Of course.
However, most of them had moved all the way across the world and sacrificed all of their belongings to be in this group, meaning that their removal would leave them with nothing. They were trapped.
No, they're trapped. Yep.
Simply put,
They're
Berg
trapped.
was forcing the women of the group into prostitution, and he was shameless about it too, calling them God's whores and Christ's hookers. First of all,
Holy
Berg
shit.
knew that flirty fishing could put these women in grave danger, as he admitted to them that violent assaults were going to happen, but he said that if you want to live, simply don't resist. And if you do get hurt or even killed, that's entirely your fault, as after all, it was God's will.
Bro, man, bro, please tell me this man got fucking arrested, bro. Like, bro, like, what? Why would...
And this
oh
was on
my
top of a myriad
god,
of
why
other
would someone do
horrific
this?
things that Berg said that I can't even repeat here. But the man saying all of these horrific things was the same man who wrote Life with Grandpa, and he used this medium to normalize his sex cult's beliefs for the children watching.
Yeah.
Which gives more context as to why women were portrayed in the way they were in these books and the show.
That makes so much
as
more
Life
sense,
with
you're
Grandpa
right.
was breaking down the young girls watching and grooming them for a life of prostitution that they were made to accept without question.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust
That's
and
wild.
obey.
Though the show wasn't only for preparing the kids for the perverse lifestyles they were headed for, and instead, they were already becoming well accustomed to it. Throughout his Mo letters, Berg also began to preach that children should be involved in these affairs and share.
Okay, not as
well,
fuck.
stating
Not
that
kill
he
this man.
believed age should have nothing to do with it. In fact, he believed that children should be taught about this lifestyle essentially as soon as they're born. And although, again, I can't read his exact words on this, Berg had declared open season on pedophilia, and much like flirty fishing, it was mandatory.
That's fucking
the abuse
crazy.
that followed is unimaginable, at a scale far too large to fully know to this day. Abuse that the parents of the children not only allowed, but often participated in, with one of the more notorious large-scale accounts coming from something that the group called the Love Video. This movie was a result of Berg sending out requests to all of the parents to send him lewd videos of their children dancing, which he not only took for himself, but packaged together into a long-form compilation video.
No, this man should be arrested. No, please. This man should be fucking arrested. Bro, this man should be fucking arrested. That's crazy, bro.
It was then distributed to all of the cult's members, encouraging the others to film similar content, with Berg going as far as creating a guide to help create the perfect video. And not only did many parents go along with this, but many clearly enjoyed it.
Keita shared with us the video that just came from World Services, and it was so inspiring. It was
That's
so
disgusting.
Beautiful. The love video.
And for this couple specifically, this wasn't the only order that they were happily following.
And it was really a blessing too for Joe and Hobo, because they had a good chance to share also with Sally.
Visit the range.
And so the Lord's really setting us freer and freer to obey and to be free and to show that sample of freedom and love to the world.
Bro, what? Trust and obey. That's why they were using that, to make them like force them to obey what they said. Oh my god.
Life with Grandpa was literally created to indoctrinate kids into a pedophilic sex cult.
Yeah, literally.
And it makes you realize why exactly it and so many other of the cult's programs were hammering home this point of not questioning your parents or any adults, and to simply obey and smile.
So the right thing is
to obey.
Because the adults in their lives were now suddenly doing unimaginable things to them, and they were being groomed not to question it, making some of the show's segments horrendous in hindsight.
Yeah.
One very special way you can show the big people that you love them is by giving them lots of hugs, kisses, and cuddles. Oh. A child's love and affection really encourages and inspires the big people.
It was normalizing their abuse.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Like, if this shit, like, no wonder they had to leave, because like this, like I hope the person who was in charge gets caught, because like, wow, like, and
And because of this, many children
and
never
this was
questioned the
yeah,
horrible
like
assaults
over
that
and
they
over
endured,
again to them.
assaults that were all fueled and pushed by David Berg's sick perversions.
God created boys and girls able to have children by about the age of 12 years of age. God, now he's going to advocate child and sex. Yes.
Which were far from theoretical, as Berg himself allegedly partook in this practice repeatedly
of
with
course
his own children and stepchildren.
Oh.
As incest was also a key point of his teachings, and his
this man deserves to die. I'm not gonna lie, this man.
Adult followers rarely dared to question this, as like those who refused to partake in Berg's latest teachings were again at risk of removal from the group, which is even more devastating for those who had children, as much like all of their
because
possessions,
their
kids were pledged and belonged to the family. And the kids themselves couldn't seek help either, as those that refused to trust and obey were sent away to actual prison camps owned by the cult until they were basically reprogrammed.
They made camps. I was sent with my brother to the Philippines. We had armed guards from the Filipino military keeping us in. They would publicly beat you if you asked to leave, then try to break you and get you to confess.
And the group continuously got...
Bro, man. That's one of the people. Like, how long ago was this thing?
Away with this too, thanks in large part to Berg's orchestration of the group leaving the United States, which looking back was almost certainly done on purpose.
Of course. 100%.
Plus, many members were actually living in hiding. In fact, all of the members were made to change their names upon joining the group, and most were told to never give out their last names, meaning that if any child wanted to report that it happened to them, they would be unable to provide even the names of their abusers.
They don't
and this
know.
included Berg too, who at this point